Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP, and is there a doctor in the house? It turns out there is, because Doc M77 has finally returned from his Hermitcraft hiatus, bringing news of his soon-to-be expanded family. At this rate, when his child is born, they'll have an entire range of Hermitcraft plushies to play with. He's returning to a server which is now updated to Minecraft 1.16.2, meaning the Hermits now have access to bartered blackstone and spectral arrows, along with the challenge of piglin brutes in any freshly generated bastions. So sharpen your axes and string your bows, and let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Doc M, who is summoned from his tomato patch by the Goat Mother statue and logs back into the server to find much has changed. For a start, his neighbor's pool is filled with robots.
Oh Lord have mercy, what is going on here? We have to do the big iron golem slaying session, that is for sure.
Doc vows to sort out the iron golem problem, but the other big change is, of course, the Nether update. After exploring this fresh new heck and checking out the Nether hub in progress, he tunnels into, around, and below other people's netherite mining projects and manages to find a few ancient debris they've overlooked.
First netherite ingot. Sweet, sweet, sweet.
Looking for a different kind of metal, iJevin drops down to the Nether as well, though mostly to the layer above the bedrock. His goal is to establish a piglin farm, aiming specifically for gold nuggets, as he plans to use them for piglin trading for a future shop of some sort.
Now, this gold is just going to be used for bartering, so, why not? Just bartering only.
He might need an extra revenue source to fund a new minigame, Do or Die. It's essentially a labyrinth filled with cobwebs and pain, equipped perfectly to make you give up, and therefore settle for less of a reward. This, however, gives Jevin a green light on hunting you down and killing you.
It's going to be a challenge game. It's an endurance game. It's not really the most clever thing, but I want you to suffer.
Luckily, the project was not quite finished by the time Keralis and XP Crafted decided to have their fun minigame day off. They still do give a go to nearly every minigame on the server, which in the case of Cub fans Pong gives us this wonderful soundbite.
You should be limited to less balls.
As agreed at the start of this minigame extravaganza, the winner receives 20 diamond blocks, but the winner is also gracious enough that they decide to spend the whole amount on a resort vacation for two, digging for loot on the now infamous Treasure Island, where surprisingly, they almost break even. Joe Hills also serves us a minigame sandwich where the meat in the middle is more messing with Zombie Cleo, trying to outmaneuver her attempts to deal with the flood of armor stands.
Like, if I'm gonna get increasingly obnoxious about all this, and let's face it, I will, I need to accept that the logical response for her to take is going to be to destroy my staging area.
This gets bookended by a round of tugboats and the epic conclusion of the standoff tournament, a showdown between himself and Etho.
Why do you look like the Hamburglar, though?
I didn't necessarily give clear instructions.
Oh, okay. I see.
BOO has a bone to pick with Etho as well on behalf of the mayor, but can't resist shopping at Sneaky E's before it is inevitably slapped with levitation tax. There are other civic issues to attend to, like hints of mycelium creeping back into the commercial district, but that doesn't stop him from building an extension to the Boomer's shop, named Stargazers, from which he can sell nighttime back to the Hermits.
This is a market that B-Dubs is cornered. The sleeping market. Huh? Nobody has seen the darkness in a long time.
He's also laying down the law in the Upside Down, since new residents get to add new rules. B-Dubs' rule, anyone who lives in the Upside Down must appear upside down, and he builds a checkpoint in the Nether tunnel as a visual reminder.
Okay, yes, this is working flawlessly.
GoodTimesWith Scar has enough trouble even without all the blood rushing to his head. It's been boiling well enough as it is, because the Basalt Delta is a cruel and unforgiving biome.
Oh, that hurt. That hurt. Oh, that hurt so much. No. Oh, I died so fast.
Which is why Scar builds up a robot security system across the dig site and the newly installed debris elevator, which, even if decorative, has to at least take out some spawning spaces.
And he is having so much fun, like, look at his face.
This is a very good display of power for the mycelium resistance that's been rising back at the commercial district, and giving quite some grief to the man who spent hours cleaning the stuff out.
You can't stop the resistance. It's gonna sneak out of the quarantine. There's not a lot you can do to stop the mycelium spreading.
The Resistance is also of passing interest to Rendog, although he may simply want to crush it in the name of the Emperor, because Darth Vader's fortress is now looking much more stylish, thanks to an exterior overhaul based on the official LEGO set, and some massive terraforming in the surrounding mesa to suit the Star Wars theme. But space pirates can step aside for a moment, because Ren gets a bit nautical for the rest of the episode, spending some of his hard-earned doubloons on the Treasure Island game.
And our spoons be almost broken. No matter, so shall we return with new spoons, new clues, and a fresh barrel of ale, me laddie. Yarr!
Hypno digs into his island base just as well, even if the only treasure he finds is the terrain he made along the way. Side note, we may have found the one person on Hermitcraft who fills in their terraforming. His town of Boardwalk sees much progress now that the second level is open for businesses and walking, and one has already moved in, a seaside aquarium housing exotic fish and coral.
Now that we've done all that, we got a bunch of fish in our aquarium, and it seems like they're all at the bottom. They're all like just chilling down there.
A much different terrain hits the commercial district's shore. False Symmetry has taken the Nether's invasive fungi to the next level and built a few custom mushrooms with the new materials. They look wonderful even if the caps are technically made out of stems. She has her own tourist trap as well, although it is more of a loyalty program for the Dimension Shop. With every dozen purchases, the clients will receive a token that can then be exchanged at a nearby gazebo for a randomized prize.
I don't expect anyone's going to buy that much from the Nether shop that we're not going to know. I don't know. Different item each time pretty much, and that's exactly what we wanted.
It's bordering on gambling, but just not quite, and really not the worst we've seen on this server. Take, for example, Cub and his pyramid scheme. He builds another story to it. It's his willingness to operate bluntly in broad daylight that earns him the spot in the town hall as the primary enforcer of stuff Scar and B-Dubs have come up with, which he goes for hard as soon as they let him into the office.
This is your office, so
this
head right on in.
Oh my god, my own office. All 20 square blocks of it. Man, wow.
The store owners will have to hurry it up with the road fees if they don't want to get into the crosshairs of a man with an infinite spectral arrow supply.
The spectral arrow has risen to the top of the mountain in terms of the Minecraft arrow hierarchy, because you can now get these arrows fully automatically, and they do more than normal arrow, and they look cooler. Like they're golden, right? They look way cooler.
As for other potion effects, Zedaf is on the way to discovering some non-lethal ways of applying them to oneself. Extra as it may be, the potion computer Zed assembles in his base seems to be able to easily throw together any assortment of ingredients you may want. And by throw together, we of course mean literally. The thing yeets items, folks. If you're planning on bartending, make sure you're wearing a hard hat.
I want to learn how to make all the different combinations of potions, then painstakingly figuring out how to get redstone to make all the combinations of potions so that I can unlearn how to make all the combinations of potions again, right? See my thinking, it's smart, it's clever.
For those who want redstone contraptions without all the fuss of designing them, there's now a solution. Mumbo's newest store in the commercial district. Named Odia and decorated in a familiar colour scheme, it will eventually sell flat-packed, self-assembly redstone contraptions.
That's very funny. I almost wouldn't have noticed that. If those signs weren't there, I wouldn't have noticed that.
To provide the components, and perhaps just to get the approval of an authentic Swede, he gets in touch with Iskal85, who is surprised to find that his Swedish lessons from last season have come home to roost.
Have you named these all Swedish? What is this? Konster?
Yeah, this is a Konster. No, and it's a tree. How do you say?
Oh, 3x3.
3x3 Kolstom. Yeah. And then this is my favorite. This one's my favorite. This is the Poppa Uta Trapona. Oh no, the Poppa Uta Trapona.
That's pretty good.
My store is going to be a huge success. Okay, we both know that. Your store is...
On the subject of roosting, though, their next collaboration is to build a pop-up chariot in front of Grian's mansion and fill it with chickens, since he confirmed all his campfires count as burn sticks, which means hermit challenges, and the chickens seemed like a really good way to give him lots of bizarre tasks to complete. They then realised jungle ocelots could easily kill the chickens, and they rebuild the whole thing inside. What they don't realise is that Jungle Grian can kill chickens just as easily, and the ones he doesn't, he just loses as they wander off inside his too big of a house.
Oh no! This was really important and I killed one! No! Oh, please tell me I haven't lost all my chickens before I've even done the challenges.
Heck, the upside down version of the building might actually be safer now that it's all spawn proof and not currently filled with murderous cats. He still manages to complete a few of the challenges, a mining time-lapse comes to mind, and giving Iskal's treasure hunting island another go is one as well, though no one asked him to actually win at that one. And finally, there's Azuma Void and the mystery of the piglins in boots, which by the way is more fascinating than this show allows for.
The piglins can actually wander, and if they're standing right where this one is, then they can pick up some of the boots that come through this dropper. They are then unable to pathfind out of there, it would appear, and therefore they just stay there forever. What a bizarre thing to happen inside of our base.
Having finished his hunt for a head with 3 pixels worth of difference, he is not done harassing the undeads and actually figures out what prevented his drowned farm from a week ago from working. Naturally, this means another farm tower is in order, which this time looks like an eyeball on a stick. His words, not ours. It is extra hilarious because having built a sphere in a game made of squares, X sets out to now map the base and stretch that on a globe, which, of course, ends up being a cube. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is PixelRiffs. If it ever feels like Minecraft's trees are hiding things from you, that's not just paranoia, and I've got answers for you in the latest episode of the Minecraft Survival Guide, linked in this week's End Screen Theatre. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.